First Watch Now.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
I see you giving her the side eye. Is it because of her shirt?
It is. I'm offended. I walk in the studio this morning, and being a Sun Devil, ASU, go Devils, I see Carol's wearing a Adams College shirt.
U of A.
That's Adams College. You know, the Revenge of the Nerds was actually filmed at U of A. Did you know that?
I did know that.
That's why I call the Nerds Adams College.
It is not. They are brilliant people at U of A.
Okay, I might have to separate you guys.
Talk about Wildcats.
I'm wearing ASU stuff next week. I'm just throwing that out.
Gotcha.
I'm wearing ASU. So, Carol, just stay over there at that microphone, please.
Yes.
Well, we're coming into Father's Day weekend.
Yes, all our fathers. A big shout out to all our fathers out there. Thank you for being fathers and dads. And they're half the equation. I mean, we did mothers here a month ago, and now we're doing fathers. So that family, you know, people ask me all the time about some of the violence and things going on in our country, school shootings, and I always say it starts in the family, and that's where mom and dads are so important. So a shout out to all our dads for being dads.
And I want to make sure that you guys all have to be out there, regardless of how you're a father. Make sure you tell your family a great dad joke. They would miss it if you didn't.
And dads appreciate that. I promise
really
you, they do. They might look at you funny, but they do appreciate that.
Do you have a dad joke, Carol?
I do. It's so bad.
Well, that's because it's a dad joke.
It's a dad joke. I mean,
why did the dad cross the road?
To find mom?
No, because there was
that was good.
That was a really good one.
That was good.
Because there was another dad across the street working on a car.
They do attract each other.
They do.
There's a lot of thought behind that.
Okay, yeah, you might have to cut that out. Great.
No, I think that's good. That's a really good dad joke.
That is a good dad joke. It's perfect.
Yes.
All right. Well, this month
I got not to interrupt you there.
Okay.
It goes against with the U of A jersey she's wearing. I'm just going to throw that out there.
No, the jersey's great. The dad joke sucked, but the jersey's great.
But you see my point.
Well, this past Monday, we had a dignitary visit us, and it was a kind of exciting moment in the sheriff's office.
Yes, we had former President Mike Pence. He was a guest of Governor Ducey, who fell ill to COVID, so Governor Ducey could not be here, but we did. We had a very, very nice visit with Vice President Pence. That's the fourth time I've met him. I've been in the White House and spent some time with him. I've been to 2 other outreach events with the Vice President, and to see him come down here. And very simply, and Governor Ducey asked him to come down here, educate himself on where we're at on the border, but also make a statement that we need border security and immigration reform. So that was his visit, and but we had a nice community roundtable with the mayor, Ann Ingles from the Board of Supervisor, the County Attorney Brian McIntyre, Jackie Clay, our school superintendent, Fort Huachuca was there, Adam Thrasher, Chief of Police. Just a nice roundtable, and it was a collective message of, yeah, we all agree. This is the federal government's problem, and we're holding the federal government accountable to make sure they secure this border.
And I think that while he was here with his staff members and the group, he was, I don't know if he's been here before. Has he been to Cochise County before?
He has not. And I remember a couple of years ago, I was in the White House, I think his 4th year in office, him and President Trump, and he told me, he goes, "Hey, Sheriff, I'm going to come see you." So when they called me, I said, good, he's fulfilling his commitment to us. But no, he had not been here before. And so it was a really good visit. And I've got to give a shout out to J.D. Rottweiler, the president of Cochise College, and his team over there, Crystal and everybody, and Jen. They did a really nice job of accommodating the vice president. And anytime you can get a former vice president or president come visit your county, we're going to embrace that.
That's right. And I think that was important for people to see that, and even taking him up to the top of the memorial right there. Well, not all the way to the top. Quite the drive, by the way. But he got to see, exactly what the terrain was and what the struggles were, and see the challenges up close and personal. And I think that's important, that people get that experience to do that.
Well, he's a former vice president. That's an influential voice in this country. whether you like him or not, it's irrelevant. The bottom line is he's got a voice, and it's a voice of public safety, national security, and humanitarian, and that's what we shared with him, those stories. And so everybody in the group did. So it was a excuse me, a great visit. I appreciate the Vice President coming here, and Governor Ducey, thank you for sending him here, and we look forward to future visits from dignitaries of that nature.
And also, while he was here, he got a nice briefing on Safe Streets as well. So let's go ahead and talk about where we're at with Safe Streets.
Safe Streets is our collective effort of local, state, and federal working together to stop the smuggling in Cochise County. Bottom line, to change behavior by the cartels, reroute their behavior, and get them out of Cochise County. But last but not least, send a message that we're going to do everything we can to protect our citizens here. It's truly a program that's got a lot of statewide attention and beyond. And that's why Governor Ducey said, listen, it's working in Cochise County. Go down there and see what they're doing. So he got a brief by Sergeant Tim Williams, who oversees that unit, on Safe Streets and where we're at, how it's working. We talked about social media, talked about the behavior of the cartel drivers, the smugglers that are coming to Cochise County, how they impact on our communities, and we know it's not a good one. So it just was a good overall collective, cumulative type educational meeting with the Vice President. He told me before he left, he goes, Sheriff, that was really informative by all the community leaders. So again, it was an honor to host him. I do. If you haven't ever met Vice President Pence, I tell you, he's a very easygoing guy. We made sure we stopped, and he thanked every law enforcement officer working the detail. From the Sheriff's Office, Service, Police Department, the troopers. He stopped and said thank you to each one, took photos with them. He's not a kind of guy that's position-driven. He is truly community-driven. So, I've enjoyed him since the first time I've met him.
And Safe Streets continues. So with that event, we also had some members of the media stand behind to see what they would be able to get for stories, and they're not lacking for material here. So the very next day, they were able to work with our office and right away get, a woman and a man who were U.S. citizens, and they were in the Bisbee area, and they had 4 people tucked away in their car. So that was that one particular incident. We don't advertise every single time this happens because it happens multiple times a day, but they're the more notable ones we try to put out there. So on Wednesday night, 16-year-old driver, Chevy Suburban. He's from the Phoenix area, and he has 10 people stuffed in his vehicle. Fortunately, he stopped, but we also, during the same week, have had multiple pursuits. So it's an ongoing and consistent problem.
It really is. I mean, it's ongoing. It's I'd like to tell you it's getting better, but it's consistent and it's negative. It's a threat to the quality of life here in Cochise County. And I know there's people out there who say we don't have a problem. And most of those comments come from outside of Cochise County. That there's always that one person going to say, no, we don't have a problem. If you're going to speak on Cochise County, you need to live here, first of all. And number 2 is understand the true dynamics. When you got Border Patrol, when you got troopers and their leadership and Border Patrol leadership, and you got Sheriff's Office and police chiefs all coming together, and community members that are the byproduct of this bad behavior saying, we have a problem. But then you have somebody from outside the county, and you have a media outlet that allows that to happen. Shame on them. Truly shame on them. I mean, that's why you don't see me speaking what goes on in Pima County or Maricopa County or Navajo County. It's not my business. What my business is, as elected sheriff, is to address issues here. So that was a little upsetting, but I hate to say it. I mean, I appreciate Jennifer with the Sierra Vista Herald and her newspaper, and we work with our media so well. We really do. The majority we work so well with. But there's always going to be that one source that tries to throw it upside down and put a sensational story or an emotional story or call out something that's so irrelevant and try to make something relevant out of it.
You attended some events this past week, starting with Sunday. You were at the Elks Flag Day.
Their annual Flag Day ceremony, and I encourage people next year with Elks, they do it at right around Flag Days on a Sunday at 2 o'clock at the Elks here in Sierra Vista. I haven't missed one in my 9 years as sheriff, and it's just a nice event. It's the history, and the Boy Scouts actually carry every flag. They describe every flag, how we progressed into our current flag that flies today in this country. So it's a really neat event. It truly does. It brings you back to, where we were and where we're at today, and why it's so important that we need to support our flag and what we stand for.
And you were also busy at Fort Huachuca on Thursday, so that was a change of command.
Yes, they had to change of command. Garrison Commander Colonel Jared Moreland is done with his 2-year assignment up there. And let me say thank you, Jared, for the friendship, the relationship, and the partnership that we've had with you as Garrison. You've done a phenomenal job. And he's turned over the reins to incoming Colonel John, they call him Johnny, Ives. So we're looking forward. I saw him yesterday at the ceremony, and very nice ceremony up there. The good thing out of all this, usually our Garrison colonels, like Jared Moreland, they're gone. They get transferred out, and maybe we'll see him, maybe we don't. But in this case, Jared Moreland, Colonel Moreland, to be more proper, is going to be the Chief of Staff for General Hale for the next year. Both General Hale and Colonel Moreland are staying an extra year here. That's a true positive asset to Fort Huachuca and our community and the shared partnership that we have with them. I talked to General Hale yesterday and thanked him, saying, "I'm glad you're staying," and he is. He's done well up there, and so we appreciate Colonel Moreland and General Hale for what they do here.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a graduation at our academy, and the new recruits just went through their active shooter training.
That's part of an ongoing. This is not, and you've seen that on our Facebook, and you hear about it. We've been very active with our active shooter training since about 2015, Carol, I think.
Correct.
And when it comes to training students, training educators, community leaders, keeping people safe in Cochise County, to the tune of 15 to 17,000 people here in Cochise County that we've trained. That's a great statistic to share with the public. And we already had this planned for the summer. It runs all the way through September, where we'll be training, again, educators, new law enforcement, groups that are asking for it, like the Boys and Girls Club, for example. We've done them in the past, and we'll continue doing that with the whole purpose of keeping kids and community members safe. So we'll continue to do that. Our new deputies, it doesn't do any good to not keep polished on that. So we got 5 new deputies just graduated from the academy. If we don't train them on that, and they're our first responders, we've missed something. So this is all part of an ongoing process of training, a perishable skill that we continue to do every year.
And we also provide assistance to schools when they contact us, and we have a list of all the schools to do safety and security checks. So we do evaluations, and I know that the Palomino School District has asked us to do another walkthrough. We have done that 2 years ago, but we're going to do another one this summer and make sure we hit all 3 of those schools and just see if there's any maybe deficiencies or ways that we can suggest that they make improvements to help the safety and security of the students.
That's right. And again, it's all about community leaders, community organizations coming together, keep this county safe. And I tell you, we've done such, I think, an amazing job here in the county that we're on the leading edge on that. I really believe that. Talking to other sheriffs and other folks around the country in this state, yeah, we're way ahead, and we'll continue pushing that needle in the right direction.
The Cochise County Sheriff's Office is very fond of the group called NAMI, and we've got something coming up with them.
NAMI, National Alliance of Mental Illness. They're having their annual meeting tomorrow over at the Sierra Vista Public Library. I'll make sure I have that right. It's over at 2600 East Tacoma Street, and the times are 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's open to the public, so it's NAMI's annual meeting from 11 to 1. So I'm going to be over there and talking to them and just thanking them for their support to this community. Truly, truly important. And they've been around a long time. I've done a lot of programs with NAMI. I try to make their annual meeting every year. So again, thank you, NAMI, to all their volunteers and their staff that helps those in need.
And you also have another group that is very supportive of the Sheriff's Office, and we in turn support their efforts because they do a lot of really good things that maybe people need to know more about, but the NAACP.
They are. In fact, tomorrow, too, they're going to be celebrating the new holiday, Juneteenth. Did I say it right? Juneteenth Day. That's a new holiday that just went into effect last year, I believe it was. But they're having their event from 10 o'clock tomorrow morning till 4 p.m. over at the Sierra Vista Rothery Education Center there on Friday Boulevard. So, again, I'll be at that in the morning at 10 o'clock. So, again, a lot going on tomorrow morning.
And the budget season is still upon us, and I think the fiscal year starts off July 1st. Where are we at with our budget?
Well, let me start with the state first. The state still hasn't solidified their budget. I'm watching that very close. A lot of conversations. Spoke to the governor a couple of days ago on the budget. Again, our biggest focus is, number one, is to get that jail. Trying to get some funding to seed our new jail project. So that's still, right now we're in it. We're still in this negotiation. We still have some money in the budget. That could change as we speak. So that's still in negotiations with the state budget. Very unusual to see them in session this long. And when it comes to the county budget, I want to thank Ann English and Peggy Judd. They approved the budget Tuesday, and so we have market adjustments for our team members, which I'm very, very excited about. I mean, these are tough times for law enforcement. My hat goes off to the family members of the two officers in California that were killed at the hands of just pure evil, and I'll just say it. And so they had an officer in Phoenix, female officer there, shot earlier in the week, shot 9 times while she's sitting in her car. I mean, we've had 150 plus officers shot this year since January 1. 150. That's incredibly sad to every community out there. So again, it's just, we need to take care of our law enforcement, the talent that works here in Cochise County at the city, state, and local level. We need to embrace them. We're in a tough time, and so I say thank you to Ann English and Peggy Judd for that reason, for voting our budget. I mean, the county sits in a very healthy time right now. What next year looks like, I can't tell you, but I tell you right now where we sit. The budget manager, the county administrator, Rich Karwashka. I mean, we worked very well with them. Thank you to them too, and Sharon Gilman over there. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward that we can reward our talent and keep them in tough times. It is, because it's no secret. I just heard the other day, Yuma, the city of Yuma Police Department, it's $10,000 sign-on bonus. I mean, all over the Phoenix Valley, sign-on bonuses, $7,500, $5,000, $10,000. I mean, and their salaries are $20,000 more than ours. So you can see why it's so important that we take care of our talent here in Cochise County.
And you also are looking forward to, this is going to be the time, we have fire season, which is all year long now, and moving towards our safety message is welcome to monsoon. Monsoon started this week. I mean, the official monsoon season started this week. So we're pretty excited about that. We might have something more than wetting our windshield.
Oh, yes. And once it starts, it comes quick. And so we've been so dry, and it's not going to take long. I mean, these grounds are going to get saturated very quickly, and it seems like every year we have one tragedy because of monsoon. Somebody goes through a wash instead of don't drown, turn around. You've all heard the slogan, and we got to push that again. We really do. So when these rains hit, and we already got some moisture already. I'm kind of surprised so early. They say it's going to be above average monsoon. I'm really excited. We all got our fingers crossed. That jersey's throwing me off, Carol. I'm sorry. Throwing that off.
It's really, this is why we're excited, because of the Wildcats.
Yeah,
but I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's making my day. And but just kidding, everybody. The Wildcats aren't bad. That took a lot to say. Everybody should say thank you, Sheriff, for saying that. But no, my safety message simply is, as the moisture gets here, roads will be slippery, washes will be running again. Be smart, folks, and know where the kiddos are at. Don't let them play in those washes. That's a bad deal. I mean, that's sad for our community if we lose somebody.
Well, before you go, give us one more Father's Day shout-out.
Big shout out to all our fathers out there. Make it your day. Please, family members, embrace your dads out there that have made it special in every community throughout the United States. And I want to give one shout-out to, and I welcome Colonel Johnny Ives, our new garrison commander on Fort Huachuca. We look forward to working with you here the next 2 years.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thanks, Grady. Thanks, Carol. Thanks, everyone. Have a safe week. Happy Father's Day.
First Watch on KWCD Country, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and in the studio with us now, we have Margaret Hepburn, the CEO for the Legacy Foundation. Good morning.
Good morning, Grady.
Well, let's talk about the Legacy Foundation. First of all, kind of let us know what that is. What do you guys do?
Of course, yeah. The Legacy Foundation is what we call a health conversion foundation. So actually the Legacy Foundation used to be Sierra Vista Regional Health Center. And in 2013 we became the Legacy Foundation. And the Legacy Foundation has a mission to promote population health and wellness throughout southeast Arizona. Our service area is all of Cochise County and eastern Santa Cruz. And we fulfill that mission in a number of different ways. Of course, the first is philanthropy, and we'll talk a little bit about the different grants that we do later. But that's the main thing, philanthropy. We also have a very strong focus on capacity building for organizations. We have an education center, our Olson building next to the Legacy Foundation offices, where we offer education. In fact, there's one on this morning in the area of advanced care planning. So every month we have that networking education session there. We also offer the Olson building as a free conference room center for organizations, not-for-profit organizations and government agencies in our service area as well. We're very focused on being good partners in the community with all of the different organizations. So education focus, philanthropy, and we support innovation. That's a really important part of our mission as well, that we have organizations that are really looking for better, easier, more efficient ways to do their work out there. I should mention too that we have a resource guide that is electronic within our website, that organizations or individuals actually can go into that website and find out if you're interested in handicap service, for example, or children's services or mental health services. You can go in there and that resource guide will point you in the right direction.
So mental health services is one of the reasons that you're here today, because we want to talk about a grant that you supplied to the Cochise County Sheriff's Office. Tell us what that grant was.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Legacy Foundation's been very focused on mental health issues over the last several years. And about a year and a half ago, we convened a number of organization leaders who were focused on delivering mental health services in our service area. And through these conversations, we identified some gaps in service. We identified some goals that these organizations would like to focus on over the course of a couple of years. And so the Legacy Foundation decided that for our strategic grant cycle for this year and the next 2 years, we would focus on mental health. Strategic grants are one of our main grant cycles, and it's a multi-million-dollar grant cycle. So as time went on, we identified really 4 organizations in the community who were prepared to deliver mental health services that we thought would make a tremendous difference in the community. And one of these, of course, was the Sheriff's Department. And I think there's been several other notifications to the public about this grant. But basically, they're being awarded more than $1 million over the course of the 3 years to have a different way to respond to folks in crisis, mental health crisis in the community. So if you think about the situation right now, oftentimes law enforcement and other first responders too will respond to somebody in mental health crisis, and they have very limited resources really. And dispositions, honestly, for these individuals. And so many people end up wrongly in the county jail or in the hospital emergency department. We heard stories just recently that there have been mental health patients sitting for almost a week in the emergency department because there's no place else for them to be managed. So the Sheriff's Department came up with a plan. Robert Watkins came up with a plan to at least partially address this issue. And so now when somebody is in a mental crisis situation, the first responders will call the team that Robert Watkins and his group are putting together, and they'll respond to the individual, and that might be somebody in the community, it might be somebody in the school, it could be a student in the school, and they'll respond with their specially trained mental health workers to intervene and find a much more appropriate disposition for the individual than the county jail or the emergency department. So we're incredibly excited about that. They're also going to do education with other first responders. So when paramedics, for example, respond to a situation, that resource team of mental health workers will be available to them as well.
And can you talk about the other grants? Because you said there were other ones, so let's talk about those as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The first one that we funded was actually Chiricahua Clinics, and they are expanding their location down on the bottom of Wilcox there to be able to handle more mental health patients. And so they'll be recruiting for more mental health workers and have the space for these individuals. Then La Frontera was another organization that the Legacy Foundation Board really liked what they proposed doing. And that was, they're building on Campus Street there, up from the college, they're building a new facility which is going to be chemical dependency location, as well as something that Sheriff Daniels and I have been talking about for years, and that is a drop-off point for patients in a mental health situation. So, for example, that team from the Sheriff's Department that I mentioned earlier, if they cannot handle the situation on site and they need a referral, they can take that patient to that location on campus, and the patient can be evaluated there, and then a proper disposition be identified. And then one other area that we really had identified quite some time ago as a big need in the community, and that is additional mental health workers. There's a shortage in that area. So Cochise College, we're going to fund them to have a program of entry-level mental health worker training. And that will begin, I think, very soon, actually, probably this year. And that will really infuse additional workers that can work at La Frontera or in other locations, Chiricahua Clinics, and throughout the service area. So these are really the four projects, and that is going to be close to $3 million over the course of the next this year and an additional 2 years.
So these are some programs that are greatly needed, and that's why you guys focused on mental health this time around. I think that's outstanding.
It is, and mental health has been a real focus, over the course of a number of years for the Legacy Foundation. But when COVID really joined us in 2020, we saw an increase, even more mental health illnesses in the community. So that's why the Legacy Foundation Board decided that we should focus our strategic grant cycle this time round on mental health.
Well, let's talk about how people can find out more about you, your websites, your contact information. Give us all of that.
Yeah, we have a really nice web page. Our staff do a terrific job in keeping that web page up to date. So the web page address is LFSAZ, and that's Legacy Foundation of Southeast Arizona. And you can go in there. There's all kinds of information. That resource guide that I mentioned to you previously is in there. How to apply for a grant from the Legacy Foundation. How to really look for older reports that have been done. We have a listing of many different reports and studies that have been done in the community in the area of health. We also have now another program that is on our website too, that you can access information, gives you a lot of data about different illnesses, diseases, conditions in the community. So a good thing to go into the website, explore it. We also have terrific staff in the office. If anybody wants to ask a question directly, they can just call the Legacy Foundation, and there'll be somebody there to answer any questions.
All right, we're going to give you that website we're going to give you that one more time. But first, before we do that, let's talk about where the Legacy Foundation came from.
Yeah, it's a question that we're asked a lot. How do you have all this money? Because the Legacy Foundation, really, since we started to give grants in 2015, We've donated more than $20 million to Cochise County in eastern Santa Cruz. That includes the donation of the old Sierra Vista Regional Health Center building on El Camino there. So folks often ask me, where did all this money come from, and how do you manage to keep giving us grants there? Actually, what happened was the board of Sierra Vista Regional Health Center really wanted a new hospital. We needed a new hospital. The hospital was built in the 60s and was pretty old and outdated. So after a few investigations and a few years, we found a partners, and that was Regional Care Hospital Partners, who proposed a situation that was very appealing to the board, and that was they would lease the operations of Sierra Vista Regional Health Center for 40 years. And the nice thing was they were prepared to pay all that money up front. So it was almost $100 million, and that was the money that that funded the building of Canyon Vista Medical Center. So Canyon Vista Medical Center is owned by the Legacy Foundation, but the operations are leased to now LifePoint for 40 years. During that whole transaction, there were surplus funds. One of the things that cannot happen when you merge together a not-for-profit hospital and a for-profit is none of the assets of the not-for-profit can be used by the new for-profit. So Regional Care Hospital Partners could not use any of the assets, cash assets, of Sierra Vista Regional Health Center. So that was what funded the Legacy Foundation. That we had about $60 million, I think, when the transaction was completed, and that was what funded the Legacy Foundation. And the Legacy Foundation is required as a private foundation to distribute 5% of our assets in any year. So that's where the funding every year comes from, and it's usually a little more than $2 million that we give out every year into the community.
That is a really neat story. I had no idea. Well, thanks for sharing that with us today.
Of course.
And thanks for what the Legacy Foundation does in our community. It's just outstanding.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. We're really delighted. We have a fabulous board at the Legacy Foundation and a terrific staff, and we just love what we do. So
give us the website one more time so people can go find out more information.
It's LFSAZ.org is our address, and you can just go in there. It's a super web page. There's lots of information there, and we invite you to spend some time exploring it and see if there's a grant that you might like to apply for.
Well, Margaret, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thanks,
That's Margaret
Brady.
Hepburn from the Legacy Foundation, the CEO. It's First Watch on KWCD Country, and it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and in the studio now we've got Wilma from the Butterfly Club. Good morning.
Good morning, Grady. Gosh, it's so good to be here.
Okay, well, you've got an event going on this weekend just in time for Father's Day.
Yes. You know, what a wonderful Father's Day weekend that we get to honor, our loved dads, our brothers, fathers. Amazing. So tomorrow morning, Saturday, right? Today's Friday. Yes,
yep,
tomorrow. I'm off. Tomorrow, the 18th. We are starting on the north side of Dillard's at the mall. You can start there by having Dad drop off his car and getting a car wash. And the Army volunteers are doing that one. Then Dad can grab a nice cool beverage outside and then walk over to the car show and look at all these beautiful cars while his car is being washed. And after that, take Dad inside the mall where we have lots of vendors and fun things and raffles and gifts and businesses and all kinds of cool things for Dad to cool off after he's watched the car show.
So this is all tomorrow at the mall at Sierra Vista?
Yes, from 9 to 5. The car wash is 9 to 1, and also the car show is from I think 10 to 1.
Okay. So tomorrow, let's get to the mall and have some fun and bring Dad. And so I assume there's going to be some gift ideas in there as well.
Lots of gift ideas, yes.
That's pretty cool.
And, some cool raffles, all the way from, we're giving away a free scuba diving class even, of course. Nice. So really fun things. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Let's remind everybody what the Butterfly Club does, because this is a fundraiser for the Butterfly Club organization.
Right. The Butterfly Club is a nonprofit organization that started 21 years ago in Sierra Vista, and we provide free wigs to women and teenagers who have cancer and who've lost their hair and who are in need of a wig. And there's absolutely no charge to them. What started out 21 years ago in Sierra Vista, we now do nationwide, all over the United States. It's very busy this time of the year. We get an average of 15 to 20 requests per week, and we feel that no woman should ever be charged for something like this.
You are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so tax-deductible donations. How can they get a hold of you to donate? I mean, tomorrow's event will be great, but how can they donate otherwise?
I'll be there tomorrow, too. So my telephone number is 520-255-0830, and I'll repeat that later on. Or they can stop by Visage today. That's right next to the Horn Toad Bar on 522 West Fry Boulevard. It's Visage European Fusion Day Spa. I'll be there all day today. If there's still some people who want to sign up for a table tomorrow, tables are $50 if you want to display, anything that's related to that from your business.
Okay, so you're still looking for vendors
we
as well.
We still have some room. Yes,
okay,
tonight we're setting up the table, so today is the last day.
Okay, so we are going to throw out that phone number again, and you can also find you on Facebook as well.
Yes, and it's on Facebook, the Butterfly Club, Inc. of Sierra Vista.
Okay, so stand by for that phone number. Get ready to write it down. Grab your pen and paper. But you also have some future events coming up. Let's talk about those.
So we have on the 23rd of July in the mall, we're having the Gem Show. And Harold, who has the gem and stone business on Sierra Vista, he puts that on every year.
Okay.
So that'll be fun. It's called the Gem Show in the mall. That'll be on Saturday, the 23rd of July. And we love the cooperation from the mall because, they're amazing how they always help us out and support us. Another one coming up, really, guys, really pay attention because this one is going to be the party of the year. Saturday, 29 October, we are having our masquerade and costume ball with the band from Dr. N from Phoenix, that is jazz and blues and party music. We're only selling 300 tickets for that. That will be also at the mall, at the food court. We'll have food and we have drinks. That will be the party of the year. And then our last event of this year will be the Fall Bazaar on Saturday, the 12th of November. That's always our Christmas Bazaar, the biggest one we have. So those are the 4 ones scheduled.
All right, so you've got events planned out through the year, but let's concentrate again on tomorrow.
Yes, and I want to mention one more thing.
Okay.
Next year for Father's Day, we're not doing a bazaar anymore. We're doing the hot dog eating contest. And we're going to ask, here's for the sheriff one, we're going to ask him to sit in the dunk tank. And we're going to have a party with kids and balloon throwing and beanbag and cornhole. So that's going to be next year for Father's Day already.
I love that you're already planning next year, too.
We're already planning next year. It's fun. So, but again, tomorrow morning, Saturday, the 18th of June, at the mall on the north side by Dillard's entrance. The car wash starts at 9. Thank you to the Army volunteers. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your service, of course. Then Joe and Stu Cannell are putting on their fabulous car show again. I think they're having up to 10 awards, so people can. It's a no fee to enter your car. It's by donations only, and I think there's going to be 10 different awards handed out. Nice. So bring your cars, guys. Everybody loves it, hanging out and with you guys showing cars. What dad wouldn't love that? And then inside the mall, the different businesses and vendors and fun things.
And KWCD is going to be broadcasting live from there tomorrow as well, so I'll be there.
Thank you for that.
You betcha. Yeah. And we'll have some fun out there tomorrow. So everybody just head to the mall tomorrow and support this wonderful cause, the Butterfly Club, and help help people, women and teenagers get wigs. That's just awesome.
Thank you. You know, we've people asked me this week, how many have we given away? We stopped counting after we gave our 1,000th wig.
Wow.
So there's a real need for that.
How long ago was that?
21 years ago.
So 21 years ago you stopped counting. Wow.
No. We stopped counting about 10 years ago.
Okay, still, that's... So you've given out a lot of wigs.
a lot of them.
That's great.
So, and our wigs range in price from $200 to $5,000.
Wow, okay.
So no charge ever. So again, phone number, 520-255-0830 or at 522 West Fry Boulevard, Visage Day Spa. It's a red sign over the building, and it's right next to the Horned Toad
and
in our beautiful new West End.
Nice. And online as well.
Online as well, Facebook, the Butterfly Club Inc. of Sierra Vista, and you'll find me.
Well, Wellman, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you, really, from the bottom of our hearts, so very much.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch now
on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County, and thank you so much. We have the Salvation Army here to talk to us about things that are going on in their world.
Great. Thanks so much for having me. I'm Eva McElroy. I'm a volunteer with the Salvation Army, and we are excited about so many things. But the first thing we want to talk about is another giant yard sale that we're having on the 25th of June, next Saturday from 8 to 2. We are not going to be able to open a store. It's just not feasible at this time, but we've been collecting donations for the past couple of years, so we still have a lot to sell. So the prices are going to be great, price to move. We do not need any more donations at this time. We want to get rid of everything we have at great prices and keep all that money here in the community. Everything that we raise will stay right here in Sierra Vista.
And where will the yard sale be located?
It will be at the Community Center and Church, which is 180 East Wilcox Drive. It will all be inside except the furniture portion. So this time it'll be a lot easier to shop for clothes. We'll have things laid out. We'll have them on hangers. It'll be inside, air conditioned.
Excellent. So that's not this weekend, but next weekend.
Next weekend, the second giant yard sale at 180 East Wilcox.
And also the Salvation Army has a new program called the Sober Project. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, we're excited about that too. The Sober Project is a faith-based 12-step program, and there's a gentleman that has been running it at Calvary Chapel and also in Tucson, and we've been able to open our doors for that opportunity 12:30 on Monday. So right after lunch on Monday, faith-based 12-step. It is a wonderful program, no judgment, no discrimination. Everyone is welcome.
And how can they find out more information about your organization?
Give us a call at 520-459-8411 or look us up on Facebook, and we also have a website.
Well, we thank you for what you do in our community, and we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Well, thanks so much for having us. We're so excited to be here.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
Join us again next Friday morning, 7 to 8 a.m.
First Watch.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Only on 92.3 KWCD.